Hi and welcome on the Raw Media Film Guys channel. I'm Max.
And I'm Toby.
This is our first video on the channel, so subscribe so that you don't miss the next videos. This is the Raw Media Film Guys channel where we share our experience about filmmaking, color grading and editing. We will give you some tips and tricks from the industry, and together we will take you behind the scenes of some of our commercial projects.
Today we're gonna take a look at a product commercial we shot a while ago, and we're gonna break down some scenes of it. We are gonna show you how we set up the light on these shots and how we did the camera work.
But before we get started, let's roll the intro. And here we are, but before we get started, let's play the commercial.
Birra Gredna Broi, naturale, come le Dolomiti.
We shot this commercial for a local beer brewery that produces a handcrafted beer. We wanted to show the fresh ingredients. A part of it is the fresh water that comes from our mountains. But we set the focus on the product shooting in the studio. So let's get started with our first shot.
Tools we used. The first shot we are going to break down today is also the first shot of the commercial. It is a master shot. A master shot shows the whole product from top to the bottom, and it introduces the video. To introduce the product, we used a dolly shot on the slider, pushing in while pulling focus. We put the bottle on our spinning table, turning the label to the camera. This is our self-made spinning table, or some people call it our self-made Lazy Susan, which we built some years ago with a heavy-duty bearing. We even used it with a motorcycle on top once. Now we use it to take product shots in the studio. There is a trick behind the water drops on the bottle. We put clear spray varnish on the bottle to roughen up the surface so that the water drops stick to the glass. Also doing this, the bottle becomes less glossy but matte, so that the light sources don't get refracted in the bottle. Let's talk about the light. We created a book light with a 575 HMI Fresnel light that we used as a key light to lighten up the bottle and the label. The book light is a common lighting technique in which the light source gets bounced onto a bounce board and then it gets diffused through a white diffusion cloth. This creates a very soft type of light. On both sides we flagged the light to control it. In the back we use a 2K tungsten light as a rim light to shape the bottle on the edge. Above we used an LED panel to lighten up the bottle cap. As for the set design, we put the product on a rustical wooden surface, and on top of that we put some wheat grain, because it's one of the ingredients of the beer.
So let's break down the second shot. For this setup we mounted the camera on a boom arm on a C-stand, pointing straight down to the table. As lighting goes, this setup is a bit different. We wanted to create a high contrast look, so we put our 2K tungsten light as a backlight and pointed it to the glass on the table. If you take a top-down shot, you always want to put the light lower to the surface. If you put the light too high, the shot starts to look really flat. We flagged the light from both sides, so that we could achieve this separation from bright on one side to dark on the other side. The crown that we put previously on the table creates interesting shadows, so that the shot doesn't look flat. Remember to shape and play with light on every setup, so that your shot always looks three-dimensional. So as you can see, you don't necessarily need a lot of lights to create an interesting scene.
For the last shot we wanted to show the product outside with the mountains in the background.
Birra Gredna Broi, naturale, come le Dolomiti.
It's not a green screen shot like some of you maybe imagined. It's all natural light. We did some location scouting on Google Maps and found this spot, which has a nice view on the landscape.
Stop! Before we move on, to get to this location was a true pain in the ass. We had to haul all of our gear to this location, through a half meter of fresh snow. For all of you American friends out there, Half a meter is about 1.5 feet of snow.
Let's get on with the video. We set up the wooden surface with the prepared bottles on it. Now to the part everyone is waiting for. The lighting of this shot. We just used one light source, the sun, and honestly, it turned out really good. We used the sunlight as a backlight, so that the bottles and the beer glass are lit from behind. This also created a nice rim light on the left side of the bottles and of the glass. We flagged the sun and put up a negative fill right here to darken this side. On the right side, a bit further away, we mounted a reflector on the silver surface side to reflect the sun onto the bottles, in order to act like a key light right here. We took a tree branch, clamped it to a stand and sprayed some water drops on it to create this beautiful bokeh. When playing the slider shot moving forwards, it creates an interesting foreground and pulls the viewer's eyes to the subject.
And this is how we shot this commercial. So that was it for today. We hope you enjoyed the video and learned something from it.
If so, then hit that like button, subscribe to the channel and follow us on Instagram, where we keep you updated on our work. Also, take a look at our homepage linked in the description below. See you next time.